We're live. This is the Comic Hall and Round Table discussion. Tonight we have Al Rainey, who is the Hidden Leaf affiliate tonight. We have Stay Puff 83. Sean is in the building. We've got the Sith Lord from the Pokemon Center. Chris is in the building. And myself, Matt O. We are here. And right out of the gate, hey yo.
Hey yo.
Hey yo. Ron is in the building. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Fellas, how are you doing after a wild week?
Oh, God.
We made it.
Hey, man, we made it.
It's become
and also
in itself every day.
Yeah, I know Al and some of the guys, we got a chance to go back to our other store that just reopened after COVID. So we actually went one of our stores that we go to. So we'll talk about that. We got so tonight we've got quite a few things on the docket tonight, but I was caught off guard today by this piece of news. Maybe it got past me. This was one of those weeks, but Disney Plus will premiere 2 episodes of WandaVision next week.
Yep, on the 15th is date premiere.
Good.
So we're getting right down to business next week. Chris, I'm gonna go straight to you, man. What do you think, man? As we prepare, man, because this is the part in the MCU. I think this is gonna be one of those main shows that tie everything in.
Yeah, it's gonna from what they've said about it, it's gonna tie to Doc Strange 2 and the Madness of the Multiverse. Personally, though, I feel usually when they're banking on a show and it's gonna be good, they know it's probably gonna be good. They tell you it's got an hour premiere episode or whatever, But if every episode is gonna be an hour, so we're looking at a 2-hour premiere possibly, since they're showing 2 episodes, depending on how long each episode is. Doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna be good to me. Like the fact that you got to show me basically 2 episodes to get me hooked. Because I usually only get 4 episodes on a show, personally. So, I don't know. WandaVision is probably the one Disney show from Marvel that I have the least faith in. Partly because it's Wanda and Vision, and they've never been a really big set of characters for me. And 2, because the guy who's working on the show says he took a lot of inspiration from Friends. And I just don't want to see Friends, but with superheroes. That's me, though.
Al, sliding your way, brother.
Well, thank you all for joining. Appreciate you showing up. That's right. What's up, Princess Anika? Yeah, with everything that happened this past week, I had to head to the Hidden Leaf Village, and I'm an affiliate for Naruto, and
had to hide out.
We had to chop some shit up. He was gonna come over with his, Lord Hokage power, but I told him, nah, man, don't do it. We'll straighten it out. But as far as it goes, I'm good with it. I mean, 2 episodes. I'm not really on the Friends tip thing because I ain't really like Friends. But maybe he got a little essence of Friends and just threw it in there. The trailer itself, I mean, it didn't have to be. I mean, because I hear that I'll be there for you. I hear that in my head, and I thank you, Chris. But but as far as it goes, I don't know, man. I'm still looking forward to seeing it. I mean, the trailer kind of got me sold on it. I will say, WandaVision has the most potential out of all the shows that I've actually seen them to release or set to release. That actually has the ability to blow the MCU wide open in terms of introducing new characters and new properties and all that kind of good stuff.
I get you that, yeah.
I just hope they don't screw it up.
Yeah, I think I'm just really interested to see how all this is gonna start introducing stuff of what's gonna be popping up, who we'll be hearing about, name drops, things like that. More or less, I'm kind of like Chris. I really don't have too high of an expectation for it, but it's something to watch. I mean, football season is putting in so soon, so it gave me something to watch. So
I mean, I expectations. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sean. But I have high expectations personally.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Al, in terms of the expectations, because this is like the first thing we're getting that's following from Endgame, in the Spider-Man movies. We haven't had something for a while now, so I'm really looking forward to it to see how it goes. I've read a lot of Wanda and Vision in the West Coast Avengers run, so that's where I've known them most of the time, and I'm actually looking forward to seeing the new characters and what they introduce and how they play through the various time settings of 50s, 60s, and all that stuff with the sitcom like feel. I'm not big on the Friends thing, so yeah, Chris kind of threw that monkey wrench in there and stuff like that. But I'm still interested in seeing how it goes. I want to see Monica Rambeau and her role in it, and I just want to see where it goes from this. It's supposed to lead into the Multiverse of Madness, the Doctor Strange sequel, so I want to see how it concludes and how it goes directly into that movie.
Wasn't Wanda one of the villains in West Coast Avengers at one point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At one point, she reverted back to her evil self, like the evil Scarlet Witch.
Yeah. So I think if that happens, she may could very well be the villain in the next movie.
She could.
That could very well be.
I mean, she gonna do the garbage that was Age of Ultron, and she can bring back Quicksilver.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Did you say garbage?
I said it. I said it.
Age of Ultron was garbage.
I mean, Age of Ultron was okay.
I'm not trying to open no can of worms, but of all the Avengers movies, I would say that was like the least.
It was lackluster.
Yeah.
Least entertaining one, like for real. Like they just threw Ultron out there and say, "Okay, bro, here you go. You got your own movie." What was my script at? It don't matter.
Don't matter. Just you Ultron.
You do what you do. I mean, James Peter. I mean, he did his thing.
Yeah.
Oh man, the movie. Aside from that scene at the beginning where they showed them all in the woods where it was snowing.
Oh yeah, the jump scene over the tree.
It was lackluster. Yeah, it was. Now that was a lackluster movie. One bad, wasn't Iron Man 3, but it was lackluster.
It was the middle of the road type of movie. It wasn't nothing that out of all the movies that they released, that would be one of the movies I probably watched 2026. Again.
Yeah, I watched it once since it came out of the theater.
I just hated that they knew that Ultron so badly and turned him into a Tony Stark clone.
Yes,
that was my biggest.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Another thing too, I think that movie, because it's been so long now, I think that came off the back of Winter Soldier. So I mean, like, bro, you you asking for trouble coming off of that movie. So
that was like following Michael Jackson in the 80s.
Yeah.
Not gonna go well for you.
All right, so Chris, we'll go ahead and move to our next topic tonight. We're gonna go into last week we talked about it, but then this week he comes back and says, "Hey, I didn't say that." So Ray Fisher comes back and says he's denied allegations that he is resigning from the Flash, but he says Jeff Johns will be leaving Warner Robins. Warner Robins. Lord have mercy, Jesus Christ.
Warner Brothers.
Warner Robins is a city about 15 miles from Macon, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Dating somebody in Warner Robins, he's hanging about us.
Oh man, he'd be leaving Warner Brothers. I'm sorry.
Warner Robins.
Yeah, Warner Robins, boy. Shout out to my folk down in Centerville. Jace, what's going on, brother?
What's happening?
So, what's your whole take on this, man? Ray Fisher, man, should he just go ahead and just say the hell with it, man? Y'all should just get him on out the door, because this guy's when he just trolling and starting on their nerves.
Like the whole issue that came out, and he's all just like, "Oh, Jeff Johns and all of them treated me so bad, like I was a token black guy on the set, and it was so horrible, And it's just like, where's all this coming from? And now him going back, and then of course they're saying he's been written out of the Flash movie.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the last I heard on it, is that they wrote him out of the Flash. They wrote Cyborg out of the Flash movie
because he was supposed to be. He came out and was like, "Oh, I'm not with this anymore." This is what we were talking about last week. He's like, "Oh, I'm not down with this anymore, so I'm out." But then this week he comes back like, "Oh no, I'm still here."
Right. Because let's be real. Who was Ray Fisher before Cyborg?
The guy who used to bag groceries over at Save-A-Lot.
Exactly. He was a cart return guy before he became Cyborg, and then he got his moment in the sun, and he's been fighting to stay there ever since. Bring out the Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut finally coming out. But you know what's hilarious? He does all this talking. He's like he wants to still be Cyborg, and he's like Zack Snyder's cool and all this, but yet Zack Snyder didn't have him back to do any reshoots as Cyborg for his version of the movie. He tried to get everybody else back, but not Cyborg.
Well, I mean, when you run your mouth like that, man, that's what happened. A lot of these actors, when they do these movies, they tend to get the big head, man, because or they do the role for a while, and then all of a sudden they want massive amounts of money. Go ahead, Al.
You know what happened? I'm telling you what happened. This ain't gonna get out, but I have it on good authority that Ray Fisher was at home one night and he was watching the first Iron Man movie, and he saw that scene where Terrence Howard looked at the War Machine arm and he said, "Next time." In reality, it wasn't the next time, because the next thing you know, War Machine went from a 6 foot tall, light skinned black dude to a 5'3" dark skinned black dude. So Ray Fisher said, I need to rewrite some words that I put out now.
So we go by that, then that means that the next Cyborg gonna look like Shalimar.
How are you?
Yeah, because that whole situation was hilarious. The Terrence Howard situation, because he was the bigger star in the first Iron Man. They took a chance on Robert Downey Jr. for that one. Terrence Howard actually got paid more than Robert Downey Jr. did for Iron Man, because Terrence Howard was coming off of Hustle and Flow.
Right. Because at that time, Terrence Howard was actually was established, man, and Robert Downey Jr. was just coming off of obscurity at that time.
Yeah, he had just got done. He hadn't done a movie in a while, and they took a chance on him because before that he was a drunken, drug-addled, Hollywood playboy. But he went to rehab and got himself fixed up. And Terrence Howard vouched for him, which makes it even funny. And Terrence Howard actually vouched for him, was like, Robert Downey Jr. is a good guy. Let's go ahead and get a chance on him. And that's, that helped Robert Downey get the part. But then when they realized that they were needing more money to pay Robert Downey for the second one, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, truly, they did do him a little dirty. Like, the way it worked out is that they tried to be like, hey, so we signed you for a 3-picture deal, but if we could pay you less up front and then pay you more at the end, you know what I'm saying? They tried to rework the contract or something like that. And that's why he really didn't. That's why they ended up just going separate ways with him. And he said when they decided to do it, he was like almost the last person to find out that he'd been replaced, and that Robert Downey Jr. didn't even try to help him to try to convince the studio to keep him.
Well, I think Derek says Terrence Howard wanted to be the main focal. I think Terrence Howard wanted that money, and then shot himself in the foot if I can remember right. He wanted so much money for that role.
Mm-hmm.
And he shot himself in the foot, and we said, hey, you know what? We'll get the guy doing the NFL commercial. We'll bring him in. Yeah, I remember that's what Don Cheadle was doing before he became War Machine. He used to do all those.
That's right, because Ocean
was that before Cheadle did that small role as Captain Planet, or after?
I would say that was after. I don't know.
Captain Planet.
Wow.
Sean, what's your thoughts on this whole thing with Ray Fisher, man?
I have no thoughts.
That's all we need to know.
I have no thoughts. I ain't even really. The last thing I heard was that he was out of the Flash movie. I have not been paying attention to the whole Ray Fisher deal. And to be honest, I still prefer Cyborg in Teen Titans and not in Justice League for me. Throw Martian Manhunter in there, or Green Lantern.
I think Martian Manhunter will be a great fit.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you something, man. I think Carey Payton, the guy that voiced Cyborg, he might be able to pull him off in real life.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we rolling through them tonight, y'all. Next topic. There are only 2 new scenes in Zack Snyder's infamous Justice League cut. Now, you want all this hype. I mean, they were talking about this thing like it was Super Mario All Star. Hey man, we got to have the Zack Snyder cut,
Man,
and all we get is scenes. And we already seen one. We've already seen one in the trailer. So that means there's only one scene that was left out of the other one that they're putting in this one.
yeah. Let's see if we can do the math. We got. It started that it was only going to cost $30 million to finish it, and then it went to $70 million to finish it, and then Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot both said we're not coming back to reshoot no scenes. Then Zack Snyder says I'm not going to use any of the stuff that Josh Whedon shot, but I'm also not going to be doing any new reshoots. And then we end up with it being a 4-hour, 4-part HBO Max special instead of a released in theater movie, and we got one new scene. I don't know about y'all, but my calculator said that it just adds up to a pile of shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Like, how are you going to announce that this is going to be 4 hours in 4 parts, but yet only 1 or 2 new scenes? I'm like, what?
The magic of editing. I'm just going to re-edit everything.
Come on, man. I wasn't sold on this thing. People was begging for the Snyder cut, the Snyder cut. I'm like, if they already had a lot of this stuff shot before Whedon took over, they should have just went with that version instead of doing the whole Whedon thing. And now it's like, come on, man. I'm just not interested in this at all.
Yeah, I think, man. Once again, they just find ways to underwhelm you, man. Chris, you weren't on the panel last week, so I want to give you this opportunity, man, to speak on Wonder Woman. We'll let you have it. We went a nice hour and a half last week on it, so I'll let you.
I can imagine how that went.
There's still a lot of questions about that movie, man.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard from a lot of people. I didn't have any, but I knew the Maxwell Lord I wasn't gonna get. I mean, I knew I wasn't gonna get leading into OMAC project. Wonder Woman snapping his neck, psychic power, Maxwell Lord. But I mean, he was the '80s guy with the question. He was the Riddler selling you books on how to get free money from the government. Just like every '80s guy.
Yeah, he's nowhere near what's his name, Michael Douglas from Wall Street, though.
Oh no, yeah, that no man. Oof. ABCs always
Gordon Gekko.
Yeah. Gordon Gekko, yeah. He wasn't no Gordon Gekko, but I mean, he was the type of villain I expect from a Wonder Woman story. Him and Cheetah, really, because when you read Wonder Woman's comic book, and even if you pay attention and you watch her animated movies, her animated movies and her stories are more about not the traditional type of bad guy or villain that everybody thinks of, or that how the Marvel Cinematic Universe has got us thinking of the standard villain that it's automatically that's a bad guy. Like, when Ultron showed up in Age of Ultron, it might not have been a good movie, but you knew who the bad guy was, though, the moment you saw him. It was like, that guy killed Jarvis. He must be the bad guy. There was no question. Whereas Wonder Woman stories and her animated movies and everything are always about broken people who end up doing bad things, but for good reasons. And they're broken in the human sense that we're all a little broken because we've done something, and so we're not just like the straight out villain. We're not trying to blow up the dome on top of the Daily Planet and roll it down Main Street of Metropolis and kill 1 million people, villain. But we're, they're broken. They made a mistake. They took a wrong turn. Not everybody who steals a tire off a car becomes a Robin. Some of them just become juvies. I mean, and so Wonder Woman's story is like that. And that's what Maxwell Lord and Cheetah were both broken people. They weren't the outright villain. She's what you see happen to a lot of nerd stories, where the nerd gets beat up and gets picked on and gets bullied, and then the table gets turned and they get the power, and then they become exactly the thing that they hate. I mean, you saw it in the first Spider-Man movie. He started getting his powers, and what is one of the first things he did was he got revenge on Flash Thompson. And so Cheetah is kind of just like that, except taken to that next level of being. I mean, because Flash Thompson, Peter Parker, Wonder Woman, you got to get that same kind of a level playing field. But she's just a broken person who did what she did because she thought that's what she'd seen other people do. So why wouldn't I do that too if I'm in the position of power? And Maxwell Lord was just that con man from the 80s, constantly trying to get people's money, left and right, and to fulfill his own personal ideal of what he believes is making it. In the 80s, if you weren't driving a Ferrari and had a pool in your backyard and a yacht and all this other stuff, you weren't anybody. And that was that ideal, that image that Maxwell Lord had given himself and was trying to present to the rest of the world. And in pursuit of that, he became broken. And
I don't know, man. I mean, if you got something that can wish you anything, why would you absorb it and then ask for other people's wishes? Because it just didn't make sense to me.
Because he became the stone. And when it was just a stone, the stone absorbed and granted your wish. So since he was the stone, he can't, just like the stone itself couldn't grant its own wish because it's an inanimate object. Once it becomes a person, he still has the limitations of the stone itself. So he can't grant his own wish. All he can do is grant other people's wishes. But because the stone always takes something from her, it granted Barbara's wish and started taking her humanity in order to give her what she asked for. So instead of he took whatever he wanted, and he would take in return whatever he wished for from that person. So just translate it.
Still didn't add up for me, because I prefer if you wanted something that you will wish for it, even if there's a price in return, I wouldn't want to become the stone, to be honest. Like, that's just me. I don't want to become an object, or an object, comes within me. Because the whole thing with him granting everybody's wishes, it created this effect where chaos was happening all around the world. As a result of him granting people's wishes and getting information out of those wishes, like he did with the president. And I'm still trying to see how the hell he could just roll up in the White House like he was just a regular dude.
Because he had, before the scene before that, he had somebody wish that he had a meeting with the president. He grabbed the intern's hand. He's like, "Don't you wish I had a meeting with the president today?" And that's how he just walked into the White House, because he had a meeting with the president. He had somebody for him to have the meeting.
But you mean security just going to allow him to come through? Just because that one person allowed him? I don't know. It just didn't make sense for me. For me, it just looked stupid.
In the other scene, when the guy was like, I don't have any oil, and he's like, "Well, all right then. Well, I'm going to take your security force." You saw them guys; they were moving against their will when the camera showed them, because of the force of the wish. So in that sense, in the White House, since he had a meeting with the president, the wish would force everybody else to just move out of his way.
I wish somebody would have just said, "I wish for you to get the hell out of my face," and just let him walk away.
Well, yeah.
To me, he just kept getting more and more annoying as the movie went on. And I was like, I did not like the trope of Wonder Woman losing her powers, because I just felt like that was a cheap tactic to weaken her. And I didn't like him having this kid as a way of saying, okay, it's a redemption angle for him to reunite with his son. And I'm like, man, you just created all this chaos. You need the bullet in your head. That's how I felt. Because even if he was broken, to me, he was so broken to the point where he's creating all this worldly chaos, and he knows it because he's seeing the chaos around him, to the point where I was like, this guy got to go. I did not feel no empathy for him whatsoever. No sympathy, nothing. I just felt that he became annoying, and I was like, I'm sick of this guy. That's where I was thinking, man, Wonder Woman should just snap his neck, because they're like, get this guy out of existence. But when they had him have his son there, I was like, you just know that they're going to use the son as a way to renounce his wishes and reunite with his son. So to me, that was like a cheap tactic anyway to get us to feel empathy for him.
Yeah, I mean, it worked for some people. But again, like I say, Wonder Woman's villains aren't traditional villains. But at the end of any story, isn't the villain usually getting on your nerves? When you think back to Cobra Commander, Megatron, Starscream, like but the villains got on your nerves.
But those are villains that were entertaining at the same time. Like, Cobra Commander could be annoying, but at the same time entertaining. Same with Starscream and stuff. They're entertaining. this guy didn't entertain me one bit. You know, like he just kept getting annoying, and I just get like, man, get the hell off the screen. That's why I was like, wish this guy away. I personally felt that the movie should have focused more on Cheetah. She should have been the main villain. Instead of having two villains, it should have just developed her more and gave her a better story arc throughout the movie, as opposed to having her become an apex predator because of Maxwell Lord's wishes. I wish it would have just followed Cheetah's story, in my opinion.
But they couldn't have done that. Well, they could have, but it would have seemed redundant to a lot of the audience because the first Wonder Woman movie dealt with other gods. To give Cheetah her true origin, they would have had to introduce the Cheetah god that she fell to. And you know what I'm saying? It would have felt, once again, you're battling the emissary of a god. First movie, you battled a god. Second movie, you battled the emissary of a god. Are you going to battle, in the third movie, the emissary secretary? You see what I'm saying? Like, it becomes that kind of...
Wonder Woman deals with God, so... I mean, ain't the Wish Stone based on the god?
Was created by some god.
Yeah, it was. I think when I looked it up, it was one of the gods that was the god, like the god of deceit and all that.
Something like that, yeah.
But they just substituted him and said, we'll put his power into that Wish Stone.
Right. To keep from using gods again for a narrative of a movie.
I don't know. I just prefer that they would have gave Cheetah more of the focus and use Max. If they're gonna have Maxwell Lord, then just have him, you know, doing something in the background, creating schemes and stuff to make it seem like he could be a villain in the third movie or something like that. But that's just me.
I get you.
All right. All right, so we're going to I'm going actually, I've got two other, we got about three other topics here before we get to our main topic tonight. I'm going to go left field on this one. When I saw this, I just, this is one of those moments where it's just like, I hate when you have something good going and it's rolling. You ever seen something when it's like really good and then it just gets snatched right out from up under you? And you're just like, now why the fuck did you do that? I mean, you were winning. So when I saw this on Twitter today, I said, oh, I'm not going to say anything about this in the group. I'm not going to say anything about this at all until we get on the show. So I go on Twitter tonight, this afternoon rather, and I see that Queen Latifah, we'll say it one more time. Yeah, so make sure everybody understands. Queen Latifah is going to be the main star of, get this, The Equalizer. They are not releasing the third Equalizer. Instead, they're putting this shit on TV. And she's going to be the Equalizer. Now, let me say, what the fuck are you thinking over at CBS? You had something fucking going. How do you run 99 yards and get all the way to the 1 yard line and fucking just fall over? I mean, how do you do that? Rebo.
They had that Daniel Jones run.
Yeah. How do you do this? How do you botch? I mean, there was nothing wrong with the Equalizer. Yeah, the second one might have been a little bit slow here and there, but it wasn't bad by no stretch of the imagination. People went to see it. I've seen it several times. We talk about movies you can go back and watch. I can watch Equalizer all day.
Yeah.
Hell, it's shit on TV all the time.
Right.
Who asked for this to come back on CBS? Who asked for this? Where the hell did you find Queen Latifah? What jazz stage did you find Queen Latifah on? Because that's what she was doing. So
what is the reason though? What was the fucking reason?
This is classic botchery. This is shooting yourself in the foot.
Mm-hmm.
So I give this 3 episodes before they're like, shit, nobody's watching it. No, this is Knight Rider 2000. This is Knight Rider 2000. Right here. This is it.
Oof.
This is it right here. Because nobody asked for this. There was no clamoring. There was no, hey, we must have it back. Hell, man, I would have rather them bring the show back with Denzel Washington on TV. Now we got something different. Put that shit on HBO. Put that shit on Netflix. You know, something different. What do y'all do? You botch a perfect franchise that was telling a good story. And I guess they said, well, hell, man, you killed the guy at the end of the last one, man. We should just leave it like it is, man. And
Right.
I saw that today, man. I just one of the comic book me just flip over to death. It's like, fuck it, man. Like ridiculous, man. Al, coming to you, buddy. Your thoughts. Yeah, I'm coming to you. Your thoughts. You plead the fifth?
The 7th and the 8th.
Not it. All right, Sean. Let's go, Isaac Hayes.
I really don't know what to say, man. I mean, if it was still a movie and Queen Latifah was in it with Denzel, then I still would go see it because Denzel's in it. But it being a TV show with no Denzel, and no disrespect to Queen Latifah, I love the Queen, but for her to be the main lead, no.
There's nothing that even warrants her even taking that over, man. Like, there's no reason for her to even Queen Latifah. For what? For who? For what? But who for what?
They need to just change the name of the show and give it a new concept with her as the lead instead of it being the Equalizer.
Hey, man, just call it Set It Off 2, but don't call it Equalizer.
Right. I mean, that would Set It Off 2. Good.
Yeah, I mean, Set It Off. They some way or another they survived off the roof, and she ended up getting a job working at Farmore or some shit. And then now she's teaching high school soccer or something like something along that line. But I hate when people do this. They have great TV shows and great movies, and then they just cut them off. And it's like, dude, I mean, what were y'all thinking? I mean, everybody was going to see. Look, I think everybody on this panel saw the last 2 Equalizer movies. They were great.
Mm-hmm.
I when I started, I was like, nah.
No.
G-Man, what's up, brother?
So
Living singles, man.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what I was thinking, more or less. Like I would welcome a living single, reboot than the Equalizer. I mean, it just that doesn't, to me, that it didn't.
I mean, that's what fits it perfectly. Al. They could have they could bring back Living Single, and they could have Kevin Samuels and all everybody else on there, and they talk about their love and all this stuff and everything. But I don't want to see Queen Latifah. One is the fucking Equalizer. I'd rather y'all go dig the old man up that played him out the grave and have him.
Right. I mean, if you're gonna do it, do it right and all that.
Yeah. So, I just wanted to throw that in there. There is also more news. So this week in comic book was I saw this and I didn't say it. This was one of those things where I was like, you know what, I'm gonna keep this low key too. I saw this coming, but I did not expect it to be this early. I saw this coming. You know how sometimes y'all can see stuff coming from a ways off.
Yeah.
And I know it's coming, but it'll be a second. Well, damn, I checked my email and I got my my notification and I saw it. And I said, oh, well, here we go.
Is this worth the money motherfuckers are charging on eBay?
Well,
it's a great cover. Look, come on now.
Look right here in front of you. Look at.
I see that shit. I saw it 2 days ago. I'm like, this is bullshit.
Don't make no sense.
This was, hey, they got 15 of these covers sitting over at Marvel. I guarantee you, they're gonna have hot pink. They're gonna have glow in the dark. They're gonna have the Slimer Ghostbusters edition. They're gonna have the Null is gonna be in the background hologram version. They're gonna have all of them.
Yeah.
This is Marvel milking the shit out of something that they didn't have to milk the shit out of. Hell, they didn't have to milk this cover. They hit a home run.
Oh,
They hit a home run. And then Marvel said, oh, we got to go back to the presses. Okay, well, you get it right with the second edition. Then I look up, you got this one, you got that one, you got this one. I'm like, well, hell, man, this is it. I'm just getting the red and black attack, and I'm getting NWO red and black and the NWO white. That'd be 2 on 2. That's how I refer to them, the NWO cover. This is ridiculous. This is Marvel being Marvel.
Yeah,
and
at its finest.
55, y'all. This is 55. This isn't like number 1, number 2. This is multi-prints of number 50 fucking 5. This is ridiculous. $159? Do you know what I could buy with $159, man? I can go at least find some mid-run X-Men. That's in good shape. Al, we talked about this the other day. Al, you can go get you. All right, by this logic, you can go get you a 9.8 or at least a high grade raw first appearance of Alpha Flight for that price. And go find you the first appearance of Dazzler to go with it. If you want to go by that logic. This is crazy, y'all. $160 for a book that came out in 2020. Well, technically 2020. Whenever it came out, 2020, 21, whatever. Just came out. Hadn't even been 3 weeks. $159 for a slab. Look at this. Oh, we'll give you a deal. $50 off the raw copy. This is craziness. And we just got into the year, y'all. We just got into the year.
It's only gonna get worse.
I expect that Batman. I saw TC put in the group last night. We're going down to 5th print on that. 6th print, 7th print, 8th print. This is the year of the print. This is what this is. Let me know right now. In 2021, this will be the year of the print. When you get a book that just came out, ain't even gotten, some stores ain't even opened their boxes yet, man. And this book is already at technically 3rd print if you want to go by the black and white one. They say 2nd print there, but that's 3rd print. It's bullshit. Already, we're at this. So when I saw this today, I said, I gotta bring this up on the show tonight because this is absolutely crazy that we back at this again. We're back at this again in less than a month. I mean, hell, man, Al, we can't even get you that to do off the rack because I mean, shit, they come in so fast and furious. By the time you record one, it's a new one the next week. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous for them to be releasing these. Marvel knew what the fuck they were doing, man. I mean, you got a fucking home run cover.
Hey, but you know what though? It's not just Marvel, man. Because I if we do our hauls tonight, I got a Dark Knight's Metal number 7.
Oh yeah, you got
out the gate. 2 of them. One
$20.
Both of them $20. You know,
right.
Yeah, the Wonder Woman covers.
No, not the Wonder Woman covers. The Dark Knight Metal number 7.
Yeah, that's the one with the 2 Wonder Woman on the cover with the black background.
No.
He's talking about yeah.
This is the totally different one. They B and C covers. No variant, no ratio variants and nothing, but they coming out the gate selling like $19. I got a cover over at the LCS that just reopened because apparently they don't know about it. So
I mean, several books over the last couple of weeks, y'all. You got Star Wars, Star Wars, The High Republic. I was just like, good Lord, man, what's going on? Am I? You see how Sean's face looking? That's exactly how. That when I saw some of these prices, you just look and you just all you can do is just sit there and just like, man, just shake your head, man, because it's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous when you see how some of these books drop and out of the gate, top dollar. Have y'all seen the prices? Well, y'all have seen it because we talked about it in the group. But what this with the Virgin cover of this first print is going for? $7.99, $2.99, $3.99, $9.99. The FOMO is real, and I'll say the FOMO is real.
You could. Big Will was talking about somebody putting it up for sale 9.8 a copy of this book, and it's like you ain't even send it to CGC yet, and they already selling it for $500.
$500. That's crazy, man.
But see, I told y'all back when y'all, some of y'all laughed at me when I was talking about that doing that Robin King, but I said this was going to be a precedent, and it to me it makes no sense. Just like William just said, it's just a cover, but the speculation game in 2021. What's up, Brock? 2021 going forward is going to put these books in this particular situation to where you're going to see books like that Spider-Man 55. I ain't gonna lie, that is a beautiful cover. I love it. But does that book warrant the prices that's being put out there for the cover? Absolutely not. But we're going to see more and more of this stuff. We're going to see more and more of these books coming out the gate with these asinine, ridiculous prices. We're going to see comic book stores trying to capitalize on that because they're trying to make that little extra money. The book is not worth that. But again, I'm not throwing no names out there. Y'all already know how I feel about certain things. It's a lot of them out there that's driving the prices of these books up. There is a reason why the prices of these books keep getting pushed up and getting pushed up and getting pushed up. There ain't no way in the world I'm going to pay $330 for that book, the Virgin variant, when there's a ton of Silver Age and a couple of Golden Age books that you could put in your collection that's more than likely going to hold value than that particular book right now. There ain't no way in the world. I refuse to do it, man.
Yeah. And not only that, Al, but those same Silver Age books are guaranteed to go up by 20-30%. I mean, if about a year or two ago, for the price they're asking for this book, you could have bought you the first appearance of Mephisto. You could have got several of these top of the line Silver Age books.
Man, you could get a X-Men right now. You could probably get your X-Men 94, that second appearance of the second team with the Count Fairy on the front for about $300 for a good mid-grade copy.
I mean, I just looked at a copy of Alpha Flight number 1, 9.8, and it's only $180. So you're gonna get something.
I mean, it's crazy, man, when you see the prices of some of these books, man. I mean, it's the year of the print. 2021 will be the year of the print, and we already seen it. Number 1 on this list, Star Wars High Republic. This is the book I pre-ordered. I picked up a copy last night because our buddy held one, but I had already ordered this book last year back in November. Nobody was looking for this book. Nobody was checking for it. And then next thing I know, I look up this book 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and I'm like, well, what did I miss? Nothing. It's just, hey, we're going after it. So then they say, okay, the first cover. Now you see here the variant. $70, $20. Then we go second print. Rose from $50 to $350. $350. The Tartman Farm. The one for stove. $100. Then there's a white cover that's supposed to be coming. I don't know if y'all. Let me see. There it is, right there. White cover, right there.
Hold on, that crossover going for $39.
What?
Oh, that's a combo pack. My bad.
But here we go. Iron Man, Frank Cho. $70.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars 2021, number 10, 1 out of 25 variant. $70. America number 1, action figure variant.
You know, none of this shit really bothers me because I don't really go on there and look it up at all because I just buy what I buy, collect what I collect. You know, get some Bronze Age and Copper Age books, and if I can score a Silver Age book with my money, then I'm fine. I don't really look at that stuff to see what people are putting in the top 10 list and stuff like, oh, this book is hot. I'm like, man, I don't care about that book, man. So why should I care? You know, if people care about it and they want to spend the money on it, more power to them. But I know I'm not going to spend those $60 on a new book. That's not happening.
We'll see.
No.
Go ahead, Matt. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say no way. There's no way I'm spending. Very rarely. Al, I think last year probably was the first year in a while. I paid over. I paid $40 for a new book, and that was that Ice Cream Man, fall van, and that held its value. I mean, Ice Cream Man typically does well anyway. And so I said, okay, you know what? I ain't bought a new book like this. I'll buy one. All this other shit I've been seeing the last 7, 8, 9 months, man. Robin King, which is still sitting on the shelf, by the way. It said so. Robin King, they're going crazy over this. What Al was just talking about, that death metal is another one in the last 3 weeks. That you look up, and then you start seeing them 2025. Now you see this book here. Look, man, I'm like Sean. There's no way I'm paying that kind of money for a new book, bro. There's too many good books out there, man, that you can go pick up at that price. Brother Al, go ahead, Doc.
Well, see, my thing is, and I'm like Sean as far as his mindset, but what bothers me as a collector is that there's somebody out there that wants that book, that doesn't want to do anything with that book but to read it. Somebody's collecting that book or collecting that series, and they have to deal with the fact that this particular book is a $30, $40 book, all account of a cover. I don't think that's fair to that person. Now, yeah, they can subscribe to the previews, but like I said on a show a few months back, it shouldn't have to come down to that. You shouldn't have to subscribe to some previews, even though I love it. I like the previews. I use it myself, and I use it because of that old Robin King BS that happened a few months back. Because I don't want to be put in a position where I have to pay $25 or $30 to read a book that all I'm interested in is the story. I think that's unfair to a comic book collector, especially if you're in a position, and this is the caveat, the oxymoron to that. They want to get more people into collecting comics, but then when you turn around, you get new collectors in the comics. We already know we work 40 hours plus a week, 50 plus hours, W-2, 1099s and whatnot. Comic book collecting is not like it used to be back in the early 90s or the mid 80s. Comic books are no longer 75 cents. Comic books are no longer $1.25. Hell, I mean, just so I could keep up with the dog metal, on average, those books, the one-shot books is $5.99. Some were $8.99.
You're right.
When you look at that, and you weigh that, and then on top of that, the books are already at a price. The general price point for a book nowadays is going to be $4 for one issue with less than 30 pages in it.
You go to that shelf with 5 books, Al. You already in trouble, man.
Bro, you get
that's all around.
6 books off the rip. That's 6 books at $5. That's $30, man. People go to the store and buy lunch meat, boar's head and bread and mayonnaise and chips. That shit for a week. Kool-Aid, a bag of sugar. That's what we talking about. So comic books is not in a position at this particular point to where it's a quote-unquote affordable hobby. It takes some love or it takes some greed to stay in the comic book collecting. Bottom line.
Yeah, I mean, you have to pace yourself, man. You have to pace yourself. If you're trying to buy stuff now, man, you have to pace yourself because, man, if you try to get everything that's hot, you're gonna drive yourself batshit crazy, man.
You do.
Yeah. $7.99
for one book.
Yeah, that's number one. Just because it's number one, it's $7.99.
And it's not just DC, it's Marvel. They do the same thing. Yep.
Gouging. You look up, man, and these books, man, like Al said, you can go back 10 years ago and see 15. I go 15 years and go look at where the books are, and then now. And the paper is just as shitty as it was now as it was back then.
Crappy Marvel paper.
I ran enough about that.
Well, I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna be done with it too, because that's why I try to stay out that Queen Latifah thing, because I ain't want to rant. But
Right.
All I'm gonna say is this. I don't want to rant about Queen T. Oh, my bad, Remo. Hey, but as far as it goes, I don't know why my beard is so red. But anyway, my thing is this. It's two things that's gonna kill the comic books as we know it. Number one is gonna be these ever increasing prices, because whether we realize it or not, they ain't done raising the prices of these books. It's gonna be $5-6 for a regular issue eventually.
And I think we're going to $8. I think we'll be at $8 in 2 years.
And when it happens, I'm gonna stop collecting any modern comic
Ain't
book.
doing no more.
I'm just gonna stick the $1.50 bins, and I'm gonna start buying books that I know that I wouldn't be normally collecting.
Yo, Savage Avengers been out for a year, and I've already seen the early issues in dollar bins. So it's like you could just wait.
Yeah,
you could just wait now. Yeah.
I mean, Sean, I talked to a guy when I was up at Dave's a while ago, and he said that's this. And he said, I go in the stores. He said I'll have to wait for everything. That's 6 months to about 6 months to a year, and then he said that I go back and then I try to go piece everything back together, because he said it's too expensive. He said it's too expensive week after week after week after week after week. For me to keep coming in here buying these books at $7.99, $6.99, $5.99, $7.99, $6.99. And then he said, God forbid if somebody the book go up like it go up in value, then of course we taking them off the shelf, and we depending on where y'all at, and then they coming down off the shelf, and this book going for $20. Well, no, it's staying for $20. Not going with me, it's going with me no damn well for $20.
And that's what I'm saying, man. I feel really bad for the just the guy that want to collect comic books, or the gal that want to collect comic books. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, Remo.
All right, Remo, we're gonna move ahead, man. We finna move on, man, because we'll go turn to an hour-long rant. We got video games around about tonight, so. Next up, Moon Knight was confirmed this week. One of the cinematographers on this set said he has confirmed that he is working on Moon Knight. All right, I will tell you like I told somebody on Thursday of this week. I don't want to hear shit about folk complaining about, oh, well, Moon Knight is expensive. This book is expensive. I have been standing right next to Al Rainey. We've been at several comic book stores. How many copies of Moon Knight have we seen sitting in dollar bins, Al? I at least got 4 copies of it.
Been a few.
Yeah, been a few. Now I could give everybody a pass on Werewolf by Night, because that's an expensive book. But when you talk about these modern runs of Moon Knight, that's been nobody was checking for him. G-Man's probably got 40. And the one he got is in that top class model he was telling us about the other night.
Mm-hmm.
But that book has been around for a while, and it's been cheap. I'm excited for the show. Of course, we probably wouldn't even get a trailer for this. I'd say next year sometime, maybe next year at the best. So I'm gonna go around the table and ask everybody, what's your thoughts on we finally got Moon Knight? And he said MCU. He didn't say TV show. He didn't say movie. He just said MCU. So who knows which one it'll be? So Sean, I'll start with you, brother.
It's about time. That's pretty much all I got to say. Moon Knight has been talked about for many years, man. Wasn't he referenced in Winter Soldier?
Yeah, Mark Jeffrey.
Yeah, he was referenced way back then, and it's been like almost 20 years now. Or this will be 20 years since that movie. So yeah, it's been a long time for Moon Knight, and we'll see how it goes. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm not the biggest Moon Knight fan, but I do have a bunch of issues from that first run in the 80s that Bill Sienkiewicz did the covers to. That was a really good run. And let's see how they translate Moon Knight into the movies, because Moon Knight is a pretty different character from what you normally see our superheroes. He's not your typical superhero in a sense. he's got multiple personalities and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how they work with that. Because I know Fox did something with Legion, with him. So if Marvel can replicate that and add it onto Moon Knight and do it in a much better fashion, they probably have a hit on their hands. But we'll see. It could be a dud.
Yeah.
I'm with Sean. I've never really been a fan of Moon Knight. I do know that, just knowing about comic books, he's a very complex character. It'll be interesting to see how he actually is incorporated in the landscape, because he can bring another facet to the MCU. My biggest question in regards to his arrival in the MCU is how are they going to utilize him? Because from what I understand and what I know, especially over the last 10, 15 years or so, Moon Knight has been written to be a very, 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 very dark character. Violent, gritty, that type of thing. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not they're going to curb him for the MCU or whether or not they're going to let him be who he is in the comic book and roll with it. But a welcome addition, nonetheless, to the MCU.
Sean, Chris.
I am a Moon Knight fan. I read his comic book, and I think it was interesting. The last decent run that was done, they took a twist and they did their own thing, but they also paid homage to all the Moon Knights that came before by making all the other versions of Moon Knight that have been out in the comic books different personalities that he has had. And the main character turns out to have been in an insane asylum, and during the course of the story, you can't tell. They write it so well, like you really can't tell if he's actually crazy, or maybe he actually is a superhero. So that in itself makes it a delicate topic, dealing with mental illness in a TV show. That route with it's going to be pull it off, and like Sean said, hopefully they do like they did with Legion. But better with a better budget, and they pull together, make a really good show. I hope. I'm rooting for it. I'm looking more towards it than WandaVision.
Yeah,
and I know I'm not getting Moon Knight for at least another 3 years.
Yeah. All right. Well, and also one last note before we move away from the comic books. Loki has been re-upped for season 2 already. I think they're already starting to work on it, if I'm not mistaken. Which,
can I see the first?
Just get to the first one, yeah, man.
Well, right. They're probably doing it from a production standpoint. They're probably doing it because there are a lot of studios, and this is just me working in the industry. A lot of studios are starting to shut back down because of the virus. They're having breakouts, so they're trying to go ahead and all right, we can go ahead and get what we can get done as quickly as possible. Let's try to get what we need to get taped, especially if you got everybody there. So they're gonna probably just try to do what they need to get done. At least get a couple of episodes in, and then if they have to shut down, they already have something in the can. So, all right, tonight's main event of the evening: the most frustrating video games of all time. And I'm going to open the floor, and I'm going to go with number one. Number one on my list of most frustrating games. This is opening up. This is no particular order. I'm going with Ghouls and Ghosts.
That's on my list too, man.
You want to talk about a game that makes you go buy, makes your doctor prescribe Kozar? Makes you check your blood pressure on a daily basis. That's a game to this day I have never beaten and probably will never beat. You want to talk about fucking hard, man. And it gets worse as you get further down I could probably get to about the third level, and after that, man, that's it. It's downhill from that, man. So
all the rap.
Yeah. So fellas, we'll go around our first game. Sean will go with you first.
The Ninja Turtles NES. That was brutal. I remember being happy as a kid playing the first Ninja Turtles game. And then I remember just hating that game because of the amount of frustration I had with those levels, man. And who that said earlier, like Donatello and probably Mikey were the best characters to use, but man, it was brutal to get through that game. And I don't think I never made it past the 5th level, you know. And these are back in the days when you didn't have save data. You couldn't save nothing. You lose your lives, you were done. You had to start from the beginning.
It was a wrap.
These kids don't know about it. Yeah, the kids don't know about that, man. They know about VMUs and all that shit. No. Back in the day, it was war. We are warriors.
You were at war with yourself.
You get up in the morning, you have to leave that shit on overnight, hope that Nintendo don't reset. You got to leave that shit before you go to school. You got to hope that mama don't come home and, oh, he left the PlayStation. I'm cutting that shit off.
Click.
You know. And then Raphael on that game was a total waste.
Oh, my God.
Raphael was a complete total waste on that game.
I never used him, man.
Yeah, Raphael was a waste on that game, man.
And Leonardo was my favorite, and he was the second waste because he only goes one motion.
Yeah.
God, man.
Al, what you got?
Man, I over the past week I've compiled a list of at least one.
Hey, bro, we're going all over tonight. So
I got 14 games that I can that throughout my life has traumatized me in some way. I'm gonna start with the most recent game. This game came out about 3 years ago.
Oh man, I already know where you're going. It's on my list too. I already know what you go. Go ahead. I already know what you.
You sure about this? Because this game,
because it came out on PlayStation this year. I played it. I already know what you're talking about.
Daggum Cuphead, boy. Good.
Oh my.
No.
I love that game, but I hate it at the same time, man.
That game is the definition of an old school game played in this era.
Yeah.
And it really reignites your rage when you die. And you get triggered easily.
Rate up triggered. I'm talking about like Super Saiyan. Like I want to finish that game so bad, but I don't want to have no stroke trying to finish it. You know what I'm saying? So
I ain't trying to go out.
Maybe if I was 16 to 12 years old, I would just tough it through. But like Sweet Brian, ain't nobody got time for that. I go back every now and then. Now, if they come out with a game genie for the Xbox One, I might try to do it then.
Be on there.
But I love it, man. Cuphead, man, is a great game. I love it. I love the graphics. I like how they got it set up. But man, that game will it'll trigger you in nanoseconds.
It's a rough one. Chris, what you got, brother?
Not new. There are 2 games easily for me. The first one was a game called Chaka the Forever Man on the Sega Genesis, and it was the whole point of the game that you were the best swordsman in the world, and you challenged the devil to a sword fight. It's basically the devil came down to Georgia, but in a video game. Because you challenge the devil to a sword fight and you beat him, and so then the devil gives you eternal life and damns you to have to walk the earth until all evil has been eradicated from the planet.
That's fun. This is damn short game. That's fun.
So then, yeah, way before Spawn 2 actually, because this was early 90s Sega Genesis time. So you get to the end of the game, you play the whole game, you beat all the levels, you get to the end of the game, and as soon as you beat the final boss, the game literally just starts over. So there's no ending, because the metaphor with that, well, as an adult, I look back on it and I assume this was the metaphor, is that you can never truly rid the world of evil. So you can never get free. So you just went through all of that and beat the game, and then the game just starts over from the beginning. Just the only difference is you got to keep all your powers.
I'd be mad.
Yeah,
I broke a controller.
And that's like no New Game Plus or nothing like that.
Right.
That was the early stages of New Game Plus.
Yeah.
Surprise! You still got all your powers, and you get to play the game all over again. Second game. I don't know if any of y'all played this one. Second game was a game called Kid Chameleon.
Oh,
That's on the Genesis. wasn't it?
Got all about that one.
600 plus level game.
yeah.
No save feature.
I don't think I ever.
I would pause the game and turn the TV off when I went to sleep at night because there wasn't no save.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah, no
hope.
choice, man.
Hey man, that was everything. What?
I'm in my 40s and I'm still playing that game.
What level you at? 400?
Right, like it's no joke because I got it. It came out on the Sega Genesis Greatest Hits set, I think, on the Xbox, and it gave it a save feature since it was on the Xbox, and I'm still playing it to this day. Every once in a while, I go back and I'll beat a couple of levels, and I'll save, and I'll just like I'll be back later. Right.
All right, so we're gonna circle back. I've got another one here. I'm like Al. I kind of got several of them. I'm gonna go with something that's modern. Just came out probably about 2 years ago. And this game is so fucking hard. I just stopped playing. I was playing it one night and I got my ass whipped. And I said, you know what? Just fuck it. I'm done. That's it. I said I just have to go look it up on YouTube, watch somebody else beat it because I'm not beating it. Done. I just get me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and sit down and watch them play through it. Sekiro dies twice. That
Man
is a fucking hard game. That game is the touch of the devil. I mean, it is hard as shit. When I say hard as shit, I'm coming to you, Al. I mean, it is hard as shit. You have to stay stealth the entire game. You have to hide, and if something sees you, and if you cannot parry, you will pay the price. Thank God Tsushima, Ghost of Tsushima is not as hard as that game. Ghost of Tsushima is challenging, but it's nothing like Sekiro dies twice. I mean, you get hit 2 times, that's it. You out of it, man. You out of there. So that's one of my hardest games that I've played. Al, go ahead, brother.
Hold on. It's a story behind this, right? Check this out. All right, so this is a letter opener, right? For the game that Matt just said. I pre-ordered the game, right? So, as a pre-order bonus, you got that letter opener, right? So I had bought the game and I brought it home. Went on to YouTube. Everybody kept talking about, man, the game is so hard. I took the game back. And I said, well, I got the letter opener to do say, hey, man, so many people have been bringing the game back, man, you can have it. So I kept it. I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to waste my time, man, trying to play a game. The game looks gorgeous. Beautiful looking game. But man, it was too many people online. I was watching people rage quit online. Like, no, I know I won't have no better.
I don't know if you watch our show or not, but I'll tell you, shout out to Tyrone Madness. I watch Tyrone Madness, man. I don't think I ever heard him cuss as much as he was fucking and damning and God motherfuck. He was just shit. He gets frustrated.
I know what you're talking about, man. I seen that video, man.
Yeah, I seen that dude, man. That dude, he got to this one board where you got to fight this. It's this one monster, man. That's like a 8 man or whatever. He throws shit at you, and then you got to try to beat him. But then if he hit your ass one time, you automatically dead. It's crazy. He beat that game, and I was like, bro. When I saw him beat that game, Sean, I said, you know what? He's the master. There's not. I just have to bow down because there's no way I can even compete with that, man. And you talking like that? We gamers, man. Straight hard gamers. It's some shit that when I can't beat it, man. That's it, man. That's it.
Call it a wrap.
Yep. Al, circling back around.
Well, one that I remember, man, in my early youth, that still hadn't gotten beat or played since then was Ninja Gaiden, the first one.
shit, you can't beat the ones on PlayStation.
Yeah, those were the ones I played more than the original.
But I wouldn't know because I stopped at the Nintendo, so I don't.
Right.
You know, Chris beat all 3 of them, man. He beat all 4 because you remember they had one on Super Nintendo. Beat all of them.
Tecmo Man, man, hold up. Now, Ninja Game Man was a game made for kids. Now, you had to have been like Albert Einstein smart, man, to beat that game, like for real. And then you know what? That's the reason why you had stuff like the Game Sharks and the Game Genies and all that kind of stuff. Because they knew when new games come out the gate, man, these kids ain't gonna be able to beat these games, man. Let's give them a little extra. That's why, you know, all your cheating and stuff. See, they instilled that cheating in kids way back when. Cheating in Call of Duty now because of Game Sharks and Game Genies and shit. But man, it was one stage I was doing good till I got to this one stage, man, where you had to like jump in between walls to get to a castle, and it was all kind of stuff flying at you and all. Man, I said, F this, man. I'm done. You know, I hadn't played Ninja Gaiden or any of his videos since.
I know I played the PlayStation one.
I'm out. Al said I'm out.
I'm out of 5,000. No.
But you know how leading into mines, I only played the Ninja Gaiden, the original one, a few times, but the ones I played a lot and raised on was the Shinobi games for Sega.
Oh man,
those games,
sweet Lord.
Oh man, the further you go in those games, Sean, you pay.
I remember one boss in the first game looked like Shredder, but yet was shooting fire at you and stuff like that. And man, I was like, and the worst thing when you raise the most is when you almost had them.
It was right there. He was right there.
It's like that dude holding the fist. Oh, you almost got it. And then they hit you, and then you dead. I'm like, fuck, all that work, I got close.
And then you got to start. Oh!
And then Shinobi 3, I made it up to the 6th level, and then the game said, you ain't going no further than this, son. And I was like, man,
all that
down. I was like, fuck. So the Shinobi games were brutal, man.
Yeah, man. Yep, those Shinobis, man. I mean, and then you only have so many special powers you can use, and then like you be using them right before you even get to the main man. So when you get to the main man, you fighting on the empty tank. Yeah.
And you know, I'll just go on to my next one. Another game where it's X-Men on the Sega Genesis.
Oh. You talking about where you had to pause, had to cut the game off?
The fucking game said you can use mutant powers, but it'll drain your energy. So you can only use like Cyclops 3 optic blasts before you can't use no more power. I'm like, what the hell kind of horseshit is this? I'm like, there's mutant powers, man. You're already just limiting me. I could only get up to the board where Apocalypse was there, and I failed. And that was like the second mission. I was like, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that one. I remember those old X-Men games, man. It's like Arcade's Revenge. Remember Arcade's Revenge?
Nothing but
hate. Oh, yeah.
You talk about a shit show.
I hated that game.
That game was fucking hard. That was one of the hardest games I think I've ever played. It's in my top 5 hardest games. I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
That damn stage with Storm, that water.
You can forget it.
Forget it, bro. Forget it. Chris, what you got, brother?
Lion King on Super Nintendo.
I thought that game was going to be fun. That game pissed me off.
Nothing about that game was as fun as we all thought it was going to be. Let's just be real about that shit. We was all Hakuna Matata about fucking Lion King, and then we got that damn game, and I had many worries for the rest of my days after playing that damn game. Like, this shit was not okay. That game was banned. I think that's when I learned to rage quit playing that game. Like that's when I first learned. When you're young, you hear people talk about road rage. You're like, what is that? Yeah, it was. I learned about game rage and rage quitting with that game easily. Cause man,
I got another one for y'all. I got this is one. It's actually a fun game until you get further down the pipe. Great game. You get about the first 6 stages, you're gonna be like, oh man, this shit is great, man. You enjoy yourself, But But as soon as you get the motherfucking hot rods, that's your ass. And I'm talking about RC Pro Am. RC Pro Am. It's cool up until you get to the hot rods. Then after that, man, it's fucking impossible to beat the game, man. Yeah, impossible. Fun game until you get to about level 6, and then that's it, man. And I'm gonna add one more in here, man, and y'all gonna laugh, man. But fuck Bart versus the Space Music. That's another game. That's another one.
Bart versus the Space Mutants. Like there was a lot of hatred in there, man. There was some.
Yeah, that was rough, man. I mean, it was, man. You got paint shit purple and shit. I mean, and you got all this shit bouncing all over the place at one time, man. Eat my shorts. I mean, that game, man,
was like, fuck.
That was a good game. I was excited. That was the Simpsons, you know, And then, I mean, Konami made up for it, but man, I was like, dude, the Acclaim. When you used to see, you know what, man? Old boy, what's his name? The Angry Video Nerd, man. It tickled me when I watch it sometime, and he was like, oh man, I see LJN. Oh, I see Acclaim. And I'm like, yeah, this guy knows. Because when you see them two logos on the game, you finna pay the price, dog.
LJN, X-Men game that Sean just talked about.
Yeah, I remember that one. That bullshit game. I remember it. Yeah. LJN, Acclaim. Man, it's like them old wrestling. Much as us, we all like wrestling.
I don't want to jump in before Al, but I just want to bring up LJN and Acclaim. I'm like fucking Spider-Man, Venom, Maximum Clonage, Maximum Carnage.
Man,
that Fantastic Four level where you fought that giant robot, man, I never could beat that thing. That shit, I'm like, the game was fine, even though I hated Demo Goblin and his constant punching back while you punching him. That shit was frustrating. But that fucking robot, I can never beat him until years later when I realized that you gotta climb the wall, drop kick him down, then climb back up. Then I finally was able to beat the fucking game. But when I was young, I used to be mad when I get to that level.
Yeah, Remo, Earth War in Jail. That's one that a lot of people don't. Earth War in Jail, man. Fighting in the dark. I remember that game. That was a rough one. And he comes back. Contra. I mean, you had to fucking. They gave you the fucking code for that game. You had to have 30 lives to beat that shit.
Right. By the time you get to the second, third level, you down to single digits.
Yeah, you hanging on for dear life, man. You get to the last board, you're like, shit, we got to make do with these five lives. And you better have Car Warriors, that was another one. Oh, man, that was hard, man. Car Warriors was fucking hard, man. That shit was hard. It's like Rygar. If you play Rygar, you got the wrong shit in Rygar. If you get to the wrong monster with the wrong shit in Rygar, you could have paid the price. That would be pain. Al, what you got, Doc?
Funny you mentioned Rygar because I got that on the PS2. But one game, man, I ain't gonna even lie. People front now. But back in the day, man, that Mike Tyson punch out, bro. When you got
man,
Macho Man. Well, actually, Sandman used to give me a little grief, and then Super Macho Man. Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm gonna say this in front of all the panelists in the chat, and y'all laugh at me. I don't really care, but I cried, man. Like the first time Super Macho Man whooped my ass, I cried. Because I was doing good, man. I had barely defeated Sandman, because Sandman was right before Super Macho Man. That first time that Joker started spinning, man, I was like, what am I supposed to do? Man, that Joker knocked the shit out of me, man. And after that, man, it was like I just felt defeated. But once I got to him, of course, Mike Tyson was next. And man, bro, I'm telling you, man, it took a while to learn that pattern. And you could never, I've people say, man, I knocked Mike Tyson out. Man, you lying. You ain't never knocked no Mike Tyson out. I ain't never seen nobody knock Mike Tyson out on Mike Tyson. Have y'all?
Yeah, Chris was the only person I ever seen do it.
He knocked him out?
Not in the flat out.
Wow, I didn't know you could do it because I always play by TKO when I found.
He did it by accident. Yeah, it wasn't more like he was trying. He did that shit by accident. Yeah, that was a rough game, man. He's the only person I've seen do that shit.
Another game. VV brought it up in the chat. Every fucking Mega Man game.
Man, I stopped playing. I boycotted Mega Man so bad I didn't even watch his cartoon after playing them games. I was so mad at Mega Man. I was like, "Fuck your cartoon."
A fighting robot. Mega Man.
Fuck Mega Man.
Mega Man 9. Mega Man 9. Mega Man 9 is the hardest games I have ever played in my life. I was so excited because that's the one they released on PlayStation. Was it one like the modern system with PS3 or something like that, PS4, or they brought it back out? But I know when I played it, that game was blood pressure inducing. I was like, man, and you talking about it, somebody that love Mega Man, but I used to always play the game up until I got to the Dr. Wily levels. I just cut it off. I said, you know what, I'm done. I'm not even.
I've made it far enough.
Yeah, I made it. Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. You know what? I made Dr. Wily's castle. I'm through.
And see, for me, I was the Mega Man, like Chris was just talking about leaving. That was the same way I was for Mega Man, man. We would get up and we have to go shopping or go shopping for shoes or something. We sitting there like, man, I just turn the TV off and throw a blanket over. No, I was gonna overheat. You ain't know nothing about overheating on Nintendo back then, man. But you done add extra damage to the system because they didn't offer no darn save feature, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I done paused the game. Like, man, I hope my dad didn't go down there and turn that thing off, But
hoping and praying.
And then y'all, I would make y'all laugh with this. Y'all remember back in the day, man, when they used to have the codes when you beat a stage, you have to write that shit down.
The only time you was gonna see it.
And you had them notebook pads full of level password question.
That's how Mike Tyson punch out was like that. Yeah. They gave you code.
And then I remember when Game Pro came out and they had the cheat codes in the back. Man, that was saving grace for some games, man.
Bro, that was it, man. When I was like, oh shit, you got some tricks, and then they started getting slick. They started putting the cheat codes. They used to spread them out, and then they start, you get maybe 2 here, and then maybe that's how they had you buying the books because they knew folks were buying them for the cheat codes.
Yeah.
I would do either go in the grocery store and just tear them out the book and just go home with it.
That was ruthless.
No, it wasn't me. He had a trapper keeper, man, full of cheat codes and stuff, man. Game about a magazine. Man. Hey, man, let me get that Metal Gear Solid tips and tricks right quick.
Fuck your magazine. Just rip them right out the book.
Straight out the book.
Hey, no lie though, I still got a lot of game pros, man. I loved reading those magazines as a kid, man.
Oh yeah. That's man. That assisted.
They don't give you game codes no more now, because I get Game Informer, but there ain't no codes in them or nothing. There ain't no strategies. All it is just talking about the newest game coming out. It's to help you decide if you want to buy it, but it ain't to help you decide. It ain't to help you beat it.
Yeah, and most of that stuff is on Game Facts now, like Game Facts and trainers and stuff now, man.
And man, Game Facts was how I learned how to do fatality from Mortal Kombat 2, man.
Yeah, for FDF plus.
Hey, you know what frustrates me in the game when I play Street Fighter 2 and run into Sagat or fucking Guile, and they cheese the fuck out of me with their sonic booms and their tiger knees and all that shit. They sometimes piss me off as those characters, man.
Hey man, I'll tell you this, man. Champion Edition. I know this ain't the hardest game or not, but I will tell you this: Sagat in Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition was fucking unstoppable because you would get a tiger knee and an uppercut, and that's it. All you hear is you jumping in the air, and all you hear is uppercut. It's gone.
Like you're gonna hear him say tiger knees 5 straight times, and half your energy is already done.
Yep,
uppercut.
Tiger uppercut.
And then Guile had that trick where he'll kneel down and wait for you to get close, and then he'll hit you with his kick or the sonic boom
right in the face.
I'm like you get hit on those tricks the more you play the game. Like, all right, I see what you're doing.
Vega was cheesy too, man. Vega was cheesy too.
Jumping on the fence. Climb around.
Wait, now if you played the game on hard, damn ball rock was fucking ball rock.
Mike Tyson was once again whooping our ass.
Yep.
That's exactly what that was.
Chris, what else you got, brother?
Man. This game was it wasn't necessarily a bad game or even a hard game. It just got really tedious. And that was Final Fantasy Tactics. Like I just stopped playing because the game just got bored. It wasn't necessarily a bad game, but like it got to a point where nothing about the game intrigued me anymore to finish playing it. I was just like, well, I could finish this game, or I could do something else. I chose to go do something else.
I got one for y'all. Got a classic. Surprised Sean didn't bring this up.
Probably next
Battlefield. Fucking Battlefield. I mean Battlefield Battletoads.
Yes.
Goddamn Battletoads. Damn speeder bikes.
Battletoads.
Yeah. Great game. Fun. Till I got to the speeder bikes. And to this day, whenever they said, well, we got Battletoads coming out, does it have the speeder bikes in it? Yeah. Oh, well, I'm not playing.
I'll play up until I get to that level. I'm done.
I mean, even in the arcade, the arcade had damn speeder bikes. I was like, well,
yeah,
fuck this. I won't beat this game. That shit used to drive me crazy, man. Then you watch them patterns, and the game Genie couldn't even do anything for you on the speeder bike. You put in a game Genie code, can't do anything with speeder bike. It was just stop. Can't do anything with speeder bikes on your own, bro.
Yep.
But I've never seen the game get beat, so I've never seen it beat. So
I ain't never played it because I watched my cousin play. I was like, man, I ain't.
You saved mini controllers, my friend. You saved yourself mini controllers.
No.
Yeah, Battletoads was rough, man.
Al, what you got on there, man? What you got?
I'm gonna go ahead and throw out 3 right quick.
Yeah.
On different platforms. So for the NES, there was a game called Karnov. And Data East made it.
What are we talking about?
And it was by a Russian guy, man. He was a bodybuilder. He used to spit out fireballs. Man, that game was just as hard as Ninja Gaiden. That was hard. And then Ghouls and Ghosts, or Ghosts and Goblins, whichever one you want to prefer. But that one was super hard too, especially the one on the Sega Genesis. And then
I remember they came out with Super Ghouls and Goblins. Like, why the fuck would I want to play the Super Edition? That's gonna be even harder than the regular edition, man.
Right. And that Super was on, I think it was on the Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo, yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And the third game I want to mention is Driver on the PlayStation 1. Ooh. The daggum tutorial, like I didn't even get through. Right, that's what I'm saying, Johnny Wishbone. But that, man, I'm telling you, the tutorial was so difficult on that game. I didn't even try to play the game because I'm like, man, I can't get. It was in a underground parking garage where they tried to teach you how to play, and it was timed. It was actually a time. You had to do it in a certain length of time. I'm like, man, I ain't playing this game. I'm done.
Not doing it.
Yeah, I'm looking at the damn bikes. Yeah, everybody know them damn bikes, man. The speeder bikes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I game.
I'll say.
This is true. This is true. What BB saying, I think that's what actually, Sean. I actually think that's what hurt him because nobody could ever beat the damn game. And that shit scarred us, man. That's like coming out with a bad rap album back in the day, man. We remember that shit. You can't hide from us.
Can't get away with that.
That and they came out around the time Turtles was extremely popular, so they couldn't really compete with the Turtles as well. Yeah,
you had 2 or 3 things. You had Turtles, you had Bucky O'Hare, you had several things going on around that period.
Captain Bucky O'Hare.
Bucky O'Hare, man. What you got over there, Sean? What else you got over there?
I had Contra. That was one that we briefly talked about earlier. A game that the game sucked, but as a kid I was happy to play it, and I could never get past the second level because you're riding on the damn skateboard, and that was Back to the Future on the NES. That game pissed me off as a kid because I could never get past the level where you skateboard. And I'm like, what the fuck is up? They made this game so difficult. I'm like, what is going on here, man? It's Back to the Future, man. I just want to get in the DeLorean and drive.
All I want to do is I want to drive.
I want to get in the DeLorean, but I gotta ride the bike, then I gotta ride the skateboard. And you die hitting a fucking can in the street.
Yep.
Somebody put trash in the street, you hit that shit and you die. What?
You didn't wear helmets back then. It was dangerous.
I'm like, come on, man. That shit
can take you out.
Hey man, Sean, that was and then even back then, like you get to the bosses on games like that, and it's like one hit you like that. No safety, start from scratch all the way and go all the way back to the back.
You know, another game that I loved the first two games, and while the third one was good, it was harder than the first two games on normal. And that was Streets of Rage 3. I don't know what they did, but they made that game tougher on normal than they did the first two games. And I you know the Blaze twins in the first game when you fight them two twins on the ship? I couldn't stand those bitches.
Yeah. Hey, bro, no. That's right. Playing music at the dance was harder than the skate park, boy. That shit was easy. Right?
Yeah. But they brought them back in a way where in the third game you fight those two twins, they throw electric bolts at you and they jump around like the Blaze twins. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit, man? Why I gotta bring that style back to this one and give them electric shots? I'm like, come on, man. I never could get past that level on Streets of Rage 3 because them bitches be fucking me up, man.
Call it a wrap. That's all there is to that, man.
Hey,
Speaking of like on bikes.
Sean brought up skateboards, man. It just automatically boom popped in my head, man. Fucking California Games. That's another one that was hard. Oh yeah, y'all. Oh yeah.
Skater that was a hard one too.
Skater Die. Yeah. I was thinking of speaking of bikes. I was thinking of old Nintendo game Paperboy.
Oh man. When that Grim Reaper roll out on your ass, you can just buy it.
I don't know nobody that beat Paperboy.
Nah, that one because it gets crazy, man. With that, you go through one Grim Reaper and you have two chasing. And it's like, you know what? Just go ahead and cut the control off, cut the game off, man. And just, getting to those levels back in the day because you couldn't beat the game. Just say I got this level was like, oh shit, man, you got that for real? Like, yeah, man. Damn, that was just as good as beating the game because that's all you're gonna get. What you gonna get? I got one for you. Ghostbusters on Nintendo.
Oh man.
Ooh. Now you want to talk about a game that pissed you the fuck off? So you gotta drive around. You gotta go to these calls, and then you gotta get ghost food. Ghost food. You gotta go pick you up a 10-pound bag of Alpo ghost food. And then you gotta go to the high rise. You gotta go up them stairs. If one goat fart on you, you dead. You gotta start over. You gotta redo all the missions to get back in there. And then when you get to Zoom and Goza, you gotta hit one, but the whole while you're hitting them, they coming up the fucking building. So you're going back and forth, and it's like, what the fuck do I do? And then you die, and guess what you gotta do? Start all the way fucking over. I slung that shit in the trash, man. I watched the Angry Video Nerd beat it like 5 years ago, and that was
it. As a Ghostbuster fan, that game is hot doo-doo.
Man.
Defecation.
I mean, it was garbage, man. And Sean, did you ever play the arcade game when it first came out back in the day? Man. Yeah. So if you played the arcade game and played the Nintendo version, you were like, "What the fuck is this?"
I was so confused.
Yeah, like what is this?
And you know what's funny? I hate when you play the arcade version, and then when they put it on console, it's completely different and it's
totally different game.
I think at that stage back in the day, man, I think the first game that I had played that was like a straight arcade port was like Ninja Turtles 2 Arcade. And I was like, oh shit, they actually brought the actual arcade game back. I mean, this is the real deal, you know.
Right.
I'm waiting for somebody to say they played E.T.
Ain't nobody play that game. Ain't nobody. They barely want to acknowledge that
And I
game
played it
exists.
on Atari. Atari was
Is
6400.
that game still underground?
No, they dug. Somebody actually did a documentary and dug it up to prove that it wasn't actually a myth, that it wasn't a video gaming myth. They did it. They actually got the money to do a documentary and dug the damn game up. They actually found the lot that it was in and dug up all those copies of that crap ass game.
Should have kept it underground.
I played E.T. and I'm telling you another game too. That was hard as shit. That was on the 2600. Was Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh man, that swinging over that hole, man. Yeah, and Frogger was hard, man.
Frogger, y'all remember Joust?
Yep.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah,
I couldn't even tell you the point of Joust. I just knew you rode on an ostrich and jousted other. The game made no sense. Like, why am I on an ostrich if I'm a knight in a jousting tournament? Like, what is? It was right there with Cubert. Games that made no sense, that were hard as crap.
it was a game on Nintendo called Marble Madness. I don't know if y'all remember that. That was fucking hard too. That was a hard one.
The arcade version of Marble Madness had a trackball, and you had to control the marble with the trackball, like over like the little stages where you go up and down and stuff. Yeah.
Them Turok games.
Oh, them damn dinosaurs, man.
Yeah.
Get out of
That's
here.
rough too, man.
It gave me vertigo. The one on the Nintendo 64, man, I couldn't play it. It's crazy because I had the game, right? And a buddy of mine used to come over. He didn't own a Nintendo 64. So the only time I actually watched somebody play is when he came over to visit, and he would always play that game.
Yeah, that game was hot trash.
How frustrated you guys got when you played Tomb Raider and those camera angles was pissing you off, man?
Man, every time them camera angles made me drown Laura Croft just because I could, because they pissed me off so much. My only revenge was just drowning her punk ass because the camera angles got messed up.
I hate those games, man.
you just
camera
angle camera.
Yeah, them camera angle just throws you completely off. You can't even see where you're going and stuff, and the wall is behind you, so the camera's behind the wall. It's like, what the fuck?
Like, what am I doing?
You know, a shit show of a game was a Castlevania game on Nintendo 64, and you got to run through this damn labyrinth with a dude chasing you with a chainsaw. I bet Brockton played it. Yeah, I bet I have to. When we get off the air tonight, I'm gonna pull it up on YouTube so y'all can see it. It was you want to talk about a shit show of a game? It was a certified shit show.
Hey, you know what game?
Go ahead, Sean.
Fucking Abe, Oddworld.
Oh yeah,
man.
The game. Those were hard, very hard.
Those were tough.
Yeah. Devil May Cry 3, man.
Oh yeah,
that's on my list. That and Tenchu Stealth Assassins.
Oh man, Tenchu was a great game, but that shit was hard. That was another one like which I think that shit was made by the same folk that made Sekiro.
It is. It was made from Software. From Software made Sekiro, I think. Yeah,
that game was hard.
Real hard.
Yeah. Some people just say Metal Gear on PlayStation on some of those boards was hard, man. On Metal Gear.
The toughest thing that ever happened in Metal Gear, and it happened to me and all of my friends. Now I was playing the first Metal Gear on the PlayStation, and the first time you went against Psycho Mantis.
Yes.
And you couldn't fucking beat him. And then out on top of that motherfucker seemed like he read your mind. Because, we didn't know nothing about programming and then them making the game read the memory card. So you done played Suikoden and all these other Konami games, and then he starts talking about all the other games you done played. Man, I know at least 3 people who, when that happened in the game, they just put the controller down and just walked away because it was so spooky.
Yeah.
They were just like, I'm out. It was like, I'm done. I'm not playing no more for a while. And then nobody knew how to fucking beat him. I guarantee the person who figured that out got lucky. I got to plug a controller into the second port and then use the second controller. Nothing else had been like that, man. I'll
give Kojima credit for that. The creativity of, you can't beat this boss, but if you just unplug it and plug into the second controller, he won't read your mind.
Right.
That's genius, but at the same time, like you said, that shit was creepy as hell, man. Yeah, it's creepy as hell.
Who was getting beat by Psycho Mantis so bad? They was like, I wonder if I plug in another controller if it'll work. Like, how badly had you gotten your brains beat in that you thought unplugging your controller and plugging it into the second player port in a one-player game is gonna make you win? Come on, man. That game drove people crazy. That's the only way somebody figured that out.
Hey, Festus Quest, man.
I ain't never played it.
Oh yeah, man. The Friday the 13th games. You can beat Jason, man.
I played.
Can't beat Jason and Friday the 13th now.
So that Friday 13th game was just straight up garbage, man. That game was terrible. Like that was an LJN game.
Oh man, that's a clap. Fuck Master Blaster 2, man. That game ruined none of my Saturdays, man. I hated fucking Master Blaster, man. That shit was hot doo-doo. All right, Al, you got anything else over there, man?
No, those are the ones that have been etched in my memory. You called out Devil May Cry 3, man. That game was extremely hard. I beat the first two, no problem with that third one. That one and the fourth one was hard. I ain't beaten those to this day. The first Castlevania, that game was pretty hard. But that was all about memorizing patterns and stuff.
Yeah.
Once you figured out how, especially when you finally got to oh boy, at the end, Dracula, you were able to once you learned his patterns, it got easier. But man, over a period of time, it was just frustrating. But that's all I got, man.
Sean, let's roll around. What you got over there?
Trying to think of one that I had in my head, but now it's kind of disappeared.
Batman.
The 89?
89 Batman?
Yeah. Yep. That Joker pull that fucking gun out on your ass. You be beating his dad, man. He just pull out that long ass gun.
All the Batman games back then were trash, though. Like the Batman and Robin, the Batman Forever game with Val, they were all Batman Returns. They were all trash.
Hey man, Batman.
I never really bothered with those. I played the first game and I was like, I ain't playing the rest. You know, when they came out, I'm like, and that's when I realized back then that video games based on movies was not good, and that shit continued for decades. Like you never got a really good to great video game based on the movie.
Right.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of. I can even think of a good game.
I'm telling you now, the Ghostbusters game that was for the Xbox 360 and the PS3.
Oh yeah, the classic one.
Bro,
man,
that's a good ass game, man.
Well, I technically look at it as the third game, and you know because the movie's ain't been around for years, they just pretty much use that as a way to do it. I'm more looking at games that came out at the same time as the movie.
Gotcha.
You know, like I remember hating the Iron Man game for fucking Sega when the first Iron Man came out. All the Sega games that did for Marvel suck. They all garbage.
Yeah.
Hot garbage. All right. Chris, anything else you want to add?
I don't think I got any more. But yeah, like Sean said, that's one of those things. Video game movies have just historically always just been bad. I can't think of one good one right now to say one good game based off of a movie that wasn't just a waste of time and effort.
Aliens was pretty good, but
you remember that book Colonial Marines game? I remember being hyped up for that trash when they first sold it at E3. Then when they got close to release, I pre-ordered it, right?
Oh,
bro,
man.
It was a week before the game came out. They announced a season pass. That lit a big ass red flag in my head. Like, wait a minute now. I pre-ordered the collector's edition. They had all the DLC, and they had that sweet ass statue. But then they added a season pass, and I'm like, wait a minute now. That season pass should be part of the collector's edition. What the fuck? You want me to pay an extra $30 for a season pass? That shit flipped in my mind. Like, let me not buy this shit. So I canceled my pre-order. And then when it came out, the shit storm fell, and everybody was ripping that game. I was like, thank God I ain't buy it, because I looked at the video footage and that shit was trash, man. I was like, God. And that should have been amazing. When you really look at the original trailer for that game, it should have been a good fucking Aliens game.
Should have been a lot of things.
Is that the one, Sean? Is that the Aliens game where you had to hide from him?
No, that's Isolation.
Okay, yeah,
Now,
that game. That's a hard game.
Yeah, it is. It's good too, but it's scary as shit.
Yeah,
real. It's like Resident Evil scary. Like,
oh.
And not only that, you have to deal with the androids, and they were just as brutal as the aliens.
Wow. All right, so that is it for our
things we put ourselves through.
Yeah, that is it. And so, BB says with the recent fan patches, Colonial Marines is actually a good game.
Fan patches?
You know, it's rough when you got to when you got to get the other folks to do the job for you. You know it's rough.
Right.
All right, so we'll go with our hauls, Chris. We'll start off with you tonight, man. We'll let you go first, brother.
All right, then. I got one of them Matt hauls.
Oh, okay.
I ended up looking out on some good comics.
My man, that's gonna be the soundbite right now. You got some of that, man?
There you go. So I'll start off with the this week. I picked up. I had to get my future state. So I got all 6 of the future states. The only one I didn't get the variant cover for was the Harley Quinn, because it just didn't look as good to me. It just didn't appeal to me for some reason. But I made sure I got the Swamp Thing. Got the Flash.
Right quick. Hold that Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
I thought that was Groot with that little pose on the right.
I thought the same thing when I saw it.
Flash. Next Batman.
I like that cover.
Yeah, I actually ended up getting 2 of these because one of the Wonder Woman 84 variants got moved to the first issue of the next Batman. So he ended up having 2 variants. I've had to get that Wonder Woman 84 cover for the actual Wonder Woman comic. And then Superman and Metropolis, I just like that simple and clean look. Like, I like the suit without the cape. It works. Even, it works for the son. It wouldn't probably work for actually Superman, but it works for his kid. I will say that. And I hit the dollar bins while I was up picking up my new stuff to get some decent covers. It's Justice League number 15.
I like that cover.
Justice League 17.
Is that the new 52 run or
this is current run, so this is like after Rebirth run. So we've gone through Superman. He's got his trunks back. This is the current Justice. Yeah, this would be the current Justice League comic book right now. Picked up Justice League Dark number 7. Justice League Dark number 10. And then I picked up a Justice League Odyssey because I'm hunting down all the foil covers just because I love the way they look. And so I was able to snatch that out of the dollar bin when everywhere I'd looked for it online wanted $5 for it plus shipping. And I was just like, I can't do it. I know I can find it cheaper. So that's why I went ahead and got the other Justice League Odyssey covers. So I got the individual character covers for Jessica Cruz. And got Azrael's and his suit for there. And then picked up the Starfire one. But mostly also because they also connect. If I do it right. If I get all the right ones, they should be able to connect them together. So they'll be connecting covers. And I love connecting covers. Then, of course, the J. Scott Campbell Wonder Woman 84 Golden Armor Outfit cover. Because that was just too dope to pass up on. And then I got really lucky with a Christmas gift exchange. I got a bunch of older comics. Turtles issue 14 from the Urban Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Urban Legends.
Yeah.
Yeah, Snack got that. G.I. Joe 243. Oddly enough, I got a Cobra Commander action figure on top of all these, on top of the G.I. Joe comic books. Silent option number 3. Yeah, basically. Got some older first print New Defenders. So I got me a nice little 1980s X-Men comic book that I'm kind of happy about. Comic book that I'd never even heard of, called Dreadstar number 4 from the 1980s.
What? You never heard of Dreadstar?
I'd never heard of Dreadstar.
You never heard of Dreadstar?
I got
Jim Sterling creation.
yeah.
Definitely check that series out, man.
I got several books. I need a few more to finish the
I
run.
love me some Dreadstar.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all still nice in print. It's first print, so it's all in good condition. Everything. Issue 4, I'd never heard of it. Now I was.
Hey man, if you check Dollar Bin, you find a whole bunch of them in Dollar Bin.
Yep.
Well, this didn't. I'm gonna have to because this didn't even come out of a Dollar Bin. A friend got me one of them grab bag comics. It's like $20 worth of comics for $5, and it's like 30 comics in the little grab bag. Yeah, that's what that came out of. Graw of the Bear Clan. That came out of the bag too. Nice little 80s
I
number
was
3.
trying not to laugh, but then Al started laughing. I was trying not. I would have laughed at the name of Al.
Like that's just. But yeah, I figured G-Man would like these because these are old school. Just
Hey, put it back up because it look like he flipping somebody a bird. Go put it.
he do. But again, they're in pristine condition, no rips, no tears, first prints on them. So I was just like, you know what, I'm not gonna turn down some really good comics. Back to the Future number 5, one of the old school original IDW Back to the Future comics. Then I got some Transformers, Optimus Prime, The Fallen, Part 6.
Hey, G said, "What was that? What was that, man?" So show it again for G, man. Show it one more time for G, man.
Crawl, the Bear Clan.
Oh, the Bear Clan, man. Not Poison Clan. You sure it's not Poison Clan?
I don't know why there's a lizard on the front of the Bear Clan comic. I haven't read a single drop of this comic because it's also in black and white. There's no color. You know, it is.
That paper better than what you're getting these days right now.
It's better than a Marvel comic.
Hey, you may want to go ahead and put that in some Milo because it might show up on a spec list next week.
Right. That is the idea.
That book will be worth $5,043.22 and 2 Aladdin Castle tokens.
Transformers Bumblebee. I really love this because there's the Go By ad on the back of the comic book. Go By's comic book.
Hey, man.
And I just love that for some reason. I got Ron versus the Transformers.
Hey, wait, hey, look at Remo.
Call Bear Clan number 1 off the rack. Look at I now have like issue 3.
Hey, Remo, you gotta check your inbox, man. You gotta come defend that when we get off the air, bro. You gotta come defend that shit.
Yeah, I got issue 3 now, Remo, of Crawl of the Bear Clan. Like
we put that back.
Why don't y'all collect that together and just share it?
Got a Transformers Unicron number 5.
Yeah, I watched that movie the other day, man.
One of the Transformers movies?
Yeah.
Oh, anime.
Okay.
Star Trek number 5. I got nice little Star Trek in there.
Oh, the cute
Next Generation Star Trek.
That movie that put me in the mind of God. What's that movie, man? Where they had the 2 brothers on the cover, man. I can't think of the name of it.
Here's the Image comic that I hadn't heard of. Star.
Oh yeah, I've seen that character. He be in Savage Dragon sometimes.
Yeah, this is Star number 2. It's got that's how I knew it was because it got a Vanguard. Like I ain't seen so many ads for comic books in so long, man. Like who remembers that?
Yeah.
Right. That's see, you got Unity number 6.
Dr. Silk.
Young Avengers and the Runaways number 1.
Sound like a music group.
Here's some throwback for you. Stormwatch #2.
Oh. You know, I actually collect that. I got that run. I'm short like 3-4 issues, and I had that full run of Stormwatch was a good book, man.
Like that jolly art on the back for the ad. There's Zealot and Grifter from Wildcats.
Brandon Choi.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know what, man?
A comic I didn't know existed. It was a Call of Duty comic book, apparently.
I got them. It's like a bunch of them. They came out close to around, I want to say either right after 9/11 or sometime a few years after, but they got like 3 different ones. The precinct, they got one for police officers, firefighters, for nurses.
You know what, man? I don't think people realize, man, how big Image was back in the 90s, man.
I forgot.
Image was fucking huge back when we were coming up.
Max #6.
Okay.
Max.
Be on the lookout. If you find those Maxes, anything from like 20 back, yeah, you better hold on to them.
Buffy season 10 issue 4, and it came backboarded and polybagged in the little grab bag.
Buffy, yeah.
I was kind of surprised by that. And then these I picked up. They finally came in. I had ordered them because I liked the covers from when they came out. Superman #12. I just like that classic look from the Superman cartoons. I just love that, the way that they did that for that one. Let's see, Wonder Woman #73.
Yep, that's old Jenny Prisoner.
Wonder Woman 68.
You got more out of that cover than you did out the movie.
Wonder Woman 768.
That one too.
And then I lucked out, ended up getting a Justice Society of America trade paper. And one that I think G-Man will be appreciative of, because I'm probably end up hunting down a bunch of comics now that I've got it. I got a Weird World trade paper.
Nice.
Yeah. Warriors of the Shadow Realm trade paper. And I hadn't read any of the Weird World, so this will give me, I'll actually get a chance to read it. And then I'll probably end up wanting to grab all the issues after, so I'll be hunting those down now. And that is it for me.
That is it. Oh man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll slide in here.
Told you I had a lot.
Short haul tonight, folks. I picked up some Life with Archie. This is one of those crazy ass sexual innuendo covers. I don't know if y'all can read this. It said, "Oh Archie, I need some red in my cheeks," and my boy Archie say, "And I need some green in my wallet." I refer to this as the red pill cover. So I was like, "Yeah, I'll take that."
Yeah.
And of course, talking tonight, I did end up getting my 55. Shout out to the store owner who looked out for me. And a lot of people were getting this cover, which is a great cover, but fucking Del Auto killed it on this cover. So I actually picked up the Del Auto cover as well. And last but not least on my list tonight is Star Wars High Republic. I have all of the future states coming as well, but I ordered those online, so they'll probably be coming in sometime within the next week or whatever. So that is it for me. And we're going to go switch it over to Sean.
All right, so I picked up the next Batman, the $7-8 book. Got that. I got Future State Harley Quinn #1, but I got the Wonder Woman variant because more frozen. Superman and Metropolis. Then here's the Wonder Woman Future State #1. Love that cover. And Swamp Thing Future State. The only one I didn't get was the Flash. Then I have, of course, we talked about this book earlier. Matt just showed it. ASM 55, Last Remains. And I have issue 56. Love me some Hellboy, so I'm going to get me some Hellboy in the BPRD. I Walk with Monsters, issue #2. Dead, issue number 2. Star Trek Voyager 7's Reckoning, issue number 2. New book by Steve Scrossi and Dave Stewart called Post Americana, issue number 1. This is probably where we're heading right now.
I hear that's pretty good.
Yeah.
No, we're going Mad Max, buddy.
Thunderdome.
Thunderdome, yeah.
Vampirella 16.
Oh, yeah.
Then I had some books. I don't know if y'all saw the video yesterday. Free Key Louie did some books. And he sent me Guardians of the Galaxy. This was his giveaway book. And this was like the deal right here, man. Because he sent additional books. Meteor Man number 6.
Hit that screen, Al. And it's newsstand.
Yep. Actually, it's direct edition.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he sent that. Back to the Future number 1. Astonishing X-Men number 1. He also sent Harley Quinn 73. I have the variant to this, not the regular. Some Smallville with Smallville Continuity, issue number 2. And then Jessica Jones, back when Marvel was doing their covers like this.
Lenticular.
Yeah.
Lenticular.
A lot of these you can get for cheap too, so that's why I ain't buy them all when they came out.
They all in those Walmart giveaway things. When you go to Walmart, they load them down with
G.I. Joe Yearbook 2019 and G.I. Joe Real American Hero Reloaded number 5. Those are the books that I got from Free Key Louie. Shout out to him. And then I went and picked up some old school books. This is going to be the book I'll be showing on the hunt. Some Steranko.
Get bucket. I got to get the hell on, Cap.
Yeah, he's Cap, like, get the hell out the way. The Hulk is coming through. Then I got some Kirby Cap 200.
Oh, okay.
I got Swamp Thing issue number 11. Love this cover.
That's ricin', ain't it?
I think it is. It looks ricin', but I have to double check. But I know he only did like a couple of issues of the early ones, and then he stopped. But it's just a gorgeous cover.
What number is that, Sean?
11.
Yeah, I think he got the 20 or something like that.
Then I saw this Saint San Julian Vampirella, issue number 14.
He like, my law.
Yep. And that is my haul.
All right. All righty. The Secret Origin. Crossover. The Batman. The next Batman. Death Metal Dark Multiverse 1. It's Alex Ross.
That's right. Timeless variants. Fantastic Four. It's the Juggernaut, bitch.
It's the Juggernaut, bitch. How you enjoying that run, Al? How you enjoying that?
It's all right, man. Fabian Nincy, whatever. Caesar, whatever. He's writing it. It's pretty cool, man. This book is supposed to actually top some loose ends. I'm kind of curious as to where they were taking them, but they upped his power level and all that kind of stuff.
I like it so far.
He's trying to be more of a hero now, kind of like when he first rehabilitated him back when he joined the X-Men, like around like the 400s and stuff. So I mean, it's pretty decent. So I got this. I got the variant I need to pick up too. It's up at the store. So now this book,
it was tough trying to choose which variant I wanted.
Yeah, I figured I would get the A cover first. The LCS I go to, they held the other one for me. So this book is like $18, like out the rip. This is the Dark Knight 7. This is the A cover to number 7, right?
Yeah.
It's a cameo appearance of the new Wonder Woman and the Black Batman. So I got it for cover price. So I'm
gonna have to go snatch that up tomorrow.
This right here is a $20 book, but I got this for cover price. I want to say this is who is this?
That's the B cover for the A, ain't it?
Yeah. One of them, Art Germ. This ain't the Art Germ one, man. I can't remember who did this one, but I mean, it's a dope cover. Don't get me wrong, but it ain't no $20 cover, So, but this is the Dark Knight's B cover to number 7. Then I got this. And I got this. That was a David Finch. That's who did that cover that I just showed.
Okay.
Then I got this. This. Yeah, my boy. That's number 3. That's it for me.
That's it?
Yup.
All right. Well, that is it for everybody, man.
Yeah.
That is it. I want to tell everybody thank you for tuning in to tonight's edition of the Comic Hall and Roundtable Discussion. We will be off next week and back to close out the month. And want to make sure that you like, share, and subscribe.
As always.
Make sure you check out Sean. Go ahead, Al.
And but before you end the show, I have been asked to help co-host God, I'm sorry, G-Man. G-Man asked me to co-host his show tonight.
Nerdy Collective.
Thank you, the Nerdy Collective. Oh, I'm so sorry, G-Man. Don't stab me in the throat when you see me. But the Nerdy Collective. So I'll be taking the place of Mr. White Gloves on Monty, aka Splash Page. It's gonna be some really big shoes to fill, but I'm gonna be co-hosting tonight. So if y'all are up, come check out the G-Man 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, on a TV monitor or a computer screen near you.
All right, awesome. Make sure y'all check out the G-Man and check out Brother Al tonight. Get your popcorn and enjoy yourselves, man. I am going to try to stay up and watch that one. That's the midnight hour. I usually have to try to catch G-Man while I'm working out in the morning. So for Sean, check out Sean. Sean, you on the Silver Age tomorrow?
If it's active, then yeah, I'll be on there.
Okay.
I got a lot of stuff.
If not, then you make sure you check out my man at Stay Puff 1983, chatting with the comics community. What you got for next week lined up for next week? Just whatever we're talking about.
If I can, I'm gonna try and get a guest on for the first time, and I'm also making some plans to bring. If you follow them on Instagram, Stranger Comics, who does the Niobe books.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I asked him. I threw it out there like if it'd be great to have him on the Saturday show, and he would love to be on the show. So hopefully in the future, within later this month, early next month, aiming for next month. Considering it's Black History Month, and to get him on the show.
Yeah. Something I want to throw out there, y'all, is that for the entire month of Black History Month, our shows will be dealing with African American comic book heroes and different topics that's dealing with the African American community. So I said this year we've never done that before, and I thought that would be pretty cool that we do something revolving around Black History Month. So,
and depending on what DC and Warner Brothers do, we might even get to do an episode called "Where's the Milestone?"
yeah, because I think it's like the second week of February they're supposed to be rolling it out. So yeah, so guys, crazy it got here that quick. So
man.
All right, well with that, I am Matt, aka Johnny Wishbone. Stay Puft Sean is in the building. We've got Chris coming to you from the Pokemon Center by way of AT&T, and then we've got the Hidden Leaf Affiliate, aka the Dusty, the Brick, the Brown. Give me that scream one more time, Al. Give me the scream one more time, bro.
That's my I remember the Inhumanoids.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. All right. We want to tell y'all have a good night. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Peace.
Peace out, y'all.